Hey, welcome everyone to our January 2015. How the heck that happened? Our first Hangout of the year, and we're super excited to have Scott Kelby join us today. I've been learning from Scott for, geez, I feel like my entire photographic life. I mean, I
Who
started,
hasn't?
yeah, picking up my camera, my first digital camera in 2001, and I went to Photoshop World in 2004 and became a member of NAP at the time, and I can't tell you how many doors that has opened for me in that time. Jesus, 2015, it's 14 years. So super psyched that Scott is joining us today, and he's on the middle of his tour. So Scott, where the heck are you right now?
Well, right now I'm in Richmond, Virginia, at the beautiful Hilton Garden Inn in their business center.
And I noticed it looks like behind you is like
have
a
any hand
Purell
sanitizer?
like hand sanitizer. So
Yeah,
that's
here,
awesome.
I'll change my view. We don't want to see the Purell. There we go. Now it looks like I'm at home. Right, I live in the Hilton Garden Inn.
And what seminar tour are you doing down there?
So we're wrapping up my Shoot Like a Pro tour this week. I did 3 cities. So I did Columbus on Monday, did Richmond yesterday, and going to Raleigh, driving to Raleigh later this afternoon, and had just over 1,000 people for the 3 days. So we had a great week.
Wow.
A lot of fun. Really nice people. Man, people here in Richmond are awesome. And I got to go to a couple of guitar stores. I'm getting ready to go to a guitar store right when we're done here. So any trip with guitar stores is a good one.
That's awesome. That's awesome. You got any Lightroom things going on as well?
Always, yeah, always. So last week I released 4 Lightroom classes, 4 different classes on different aspects of Lightroom. I have another one coming out, not this Thursday, because we release new classes every Thursday. It's next Thursday, I've got another class coming out. That one's on Lightroom Mobile and shooting tethered, so it's both in one class, kind of just showing people how to go through the setup, and then we do the whole Lightroom workflow. I mean, the Lightroom mobile workflow in the studio. So if you're a studio photographer, or you shoot on location, and you want to work Lightroom into your live shoots, that's what I mean. Lightroom mobile into your live shoots. That's what the class is on.
And those are all on Kelby One, right? For Kelby One subscribers.
Those are all on Kelby One. Well, 4 of them are. 4 of them went up this week, and then the 5th one goes up next Thursday.
And then I noticed you were just totally taking Lightroom Killer Tips to new levels, and I saw you restarted a series on things you tell new Lightroom users. You know,
yeah, this is inspired by you going back to. This is inspired by you going back to 2009. You wrote something like that, and I saw it and I said, hey, you know, Rob Sylvan did this really great thing and inspired me to do this thing called, you know, 10 things I would tell new Lightroom users. And then so now that I'm running LightroomKillerTips.com, I wanted to revisit it because some of the things that I wrote back in 2009, I feel differently about today. And so so I'm doing one a day. So tomorrow's number 3 in the series.
Excellent.
But tip of the hat, I even wrote when I launched it, tip of the hat to Rob, because you're the guy that inspired this whole series.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, you know, on the help desk, that's most of what I get, are those kind of questions. So anything I can point people to like that is really, really helpful. So today we're going to be looking at book module. Oh, and Levi, I should introduce my good friend Levi Sim. Hey, Levi.
Hi, guys.
Levi, where are you at today?
I'm in Portland. I'm at home.
All
I raced back. I've been racing all over town this morning already, and so I'm just glad to be here with you guys today.
All right.
Did you go to any guitars?
Any guitar stores this morning? No, I went to Denny's. Had a breakfast meeting with a robotics engineer. He's an incredible fellow.
Nice.
There's also guitar stores in Portland.
There are. There absolutely are. You know, I look at hat stores more often than guitar stores. So.
Yeah, that reminds me, though, we should also, just before we totally get into the book module stuff, thank our sponsors and also for the prizes we're going to give away. So Adobe has generously given us a 1-year subscription, a photography subscription to the Creative Cloud. So that's Lightroom and Photoshop for 1 year. Pretty nice gift. And onOne is also giving away a Perfect Photo Suite 9. And Scott just told us he's going to throw in one of his Lightroom 5 books autographed. So that's awesome. Thank you, Scott. Also want to thank songfreedom.com for being our sponsor for these Hangouts, as well as Drobo. So yeah, so today, all about book module. So I want to start off, if we could maybe talk about who is the book module really kind of geared for? How do you use it? What books have you created with it? Just so people have a good sense, if you haven't ever made a book or maybe you thought about it, how do you approach the book module?
Well, the first thing I think about the book module is, I think for photographers, it lets them expand their creativity. I mean, you're already a photographer, you're already a creative person, but there are basically two parts to your creativity. You're shooting, right? That's fun. And you're editing. For most people, that's fun. It's not fun for everybody, but for most people, I mean, I really enjoy the editing part. I love being able to make Lightroom my darkroom. So that's cool. But when you go to add this third leg to your creative chair, which was to do photo books, you are now you're kind of almost like a photo editor at a magazine. You're putting together a book. You get to decide which photos make the book, how big they are, how many go on a page, what's on the left page, what's on the right page, are there 5 over here, the 1 over there, is it a 2-page spread? It is so much fun. It adds this third level of fun, even if you never print the book, even if you never hit the final button, send to Blurb, and you just make a JPEG of it or whatever. It's a creative experience, because think of it this way, in magazines and in books, it's always somebody else making the decisions of what gets in, what goes where. They're photo editors.
Yeah. This
makes you a photo editor. And so the kind of books that I normally do, anytime I take a vacation, which I try to take as many as is humanly possible, under the guise of business, I've got to take a business trip. But, I make a photo book. So this last summer, I got to go to Prague and Budapest and take like a 10-day trip down the Danube River, and I did photo books. Now here's the thing, I make 2 photo books normally. One photo book for me as a photographer. So in that photo book, you don't see me, you don't see the family, you don't see the kids, it's just the photographic stuff that I like. Then I make a second book, not just for me and then my family shots, but for everybody that was on the trip with us. So friends and family and other couples or whoever goes on these trips. And when you give somebody like one of these books as a gift, just like a $24 book, the minimum number or whatever, you give them a book from that trip, they will follow you around like a puppy for the rest of your life. That's an emotional experience. They're like, oh, it's a book. I mean, you cannot believe the impact that it has. So I think in many ways that making photo books is an extension of your creativity. It allows you to do something you probably haven't gotten to do before, which I think is really, really great. And it has the power to have a tremendous emotional impact over yourself and over other people. So it's all good, and I do it all in Lightroom.
Yeah. That's awesome. That gives me a whole different lens to viewing this stuff, because I've always viewed it as kind of something I don't know how to do. Layout isn't my thing. I haven't studied graphic design, and I feel like I'm unqualified. So I'm excited now, Scott. You got me all pumped up to have fun and create.
Think about this, because a lot of the fun is finding out which photos work together, right? And so I have a really great tip to start off with, okay?
Excellent.
All right.
So here's a really good tip. There's a button in the web module called Auto Layout. So I always tell people, start by putting your final photos. So you're done. You've got your sharpening, your cropping. You've got your final photos. Put them all in a folder. And then you're going to take, that collection, go to the book module. I said a folder, I meant a collection. Put them in a collection, go to the book module, and click that button called Auto Layout. It's going to basically take the photos and just put them into a layout. It does the whole book with one click. And you know what? Here's what's interesting about this. You'll look at it and you'll see some pages and you're like, that doesn't look good, that doesn't look good.
Oh.
All of a sudden you'll hit a page and you're like, I never would have thought to put those 2 photos together, but that is awesome. And that page is done.
Yeah.
You know how many times it happens in like a 30 or 40 page book? You may have 10 or 12 spreads that look just great and never have to change anything.
Excellent.
Yeah. So I think it's a great starting place. You throw them in there, let Lightroom just stick them in there, and then you can go back and decide, okay, well, there's certain pages where these 2 pictures just look stupid together. But that's part of the fun. in my mind, I don't know which pictures are going to go together until I am actually in the process. So I'm not like a designer where they'll go, well, I shot these pictures specifically to do this. I'm on vacation. I'm just shooting whatever. Yeah. But it's all drag and drop, right? So if you see two pictures that don't look together, you just go down to the film strip and say, how about this one? Ooh, nope. How about this one? Ooh, nope. How about this one? Ah! it's fun.
Do you want to maybe show us that, or?
Yeah. Let me do a screen share.
Yeah. Excellent. And you also inadvertently just answered Shireen Dallas's question about do you do an auto layout? So.
Oh man, do I ever?
And then you tweak it.
Do I ever?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to zoom over here to Lightroom. You guys see me okay?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to clear the auto layout here. All right, so let's just this is a wedding book I did. Let's clear this layout. There's a button called, strangely enough, clear layout. Now, Lightroom comes with some presets, and I make my own too, because you can make your own, which is once you've done a couple of these books, then you'd say, well, I kind of would like to have a square on the left or something different on the right, so I just kind of make my own, and I try to name them names that make sense. Like, look at this one. On the left, I say L for left, small square, right, full bleed. All right, so that will make every left page a small square, every right page, full bleed picture. Then all you do is hit auto layout. Ready? Check it out. Your book's done.
Boom.
Awesome.
Instant book.
Print.
Now, it also does a weird. This is a weird thing. It always takes the cover picture and then recopies it to the second page.
Yeah, that is weird. Yeah.
I don't get that one, but anyway, so you look in some of these pairings, you go, well, those look okay. Now, I'm not sure if I would want really the rings as big as I would want the bride and groom. You might want to just swap those two, but there you go. That looks better.
Yeah, so all you did was you just dragged one over to the other spot and just swapped it, right?
Yeah, just drag and drop them between it, and then once they're here, you can kind of move them a little, inside the frame.
Yeah.
And so then I go down here and you look and say, well, that's not maybe the greatest. This is supposed to be a tall photo. I might not be the greatest. Then over here, it's kind of a same version of the same photo. You might think that's good or bad, but if you change your mind and said, I just don't like that, you can grab another photo down here and just swap it out.
Yeah.
I think that's a better pairing probably than the same photo twice. And so you can just kind of go through here and decide like which pictures like this one here, I would rather that be something else. Just like I know it's a wide picture. Look, see it's wide? Yeah. So I would rather make that like a 2-page spread. So you just click in the bottom and you can choose 2-page spreads. I want it to be a full bleed.
Awesome. So even though we're using your preset, we can alter the preset right on every page by page.
Absolutely. It's all editable. So the auto thing is a starting point. And I like a lot of these. I like a lot of the looks here. But then if you get to a particular page where you think, well, something's not really great here, then you can say, I want this to also be a one photo, and I won't go full bleed because this one's full bleed. I'll do a white border around it, and maybe I'll change the background color so I can go here and maybe choose black. That would probably be better. So let's go to background color, and we'll make a black. There we go. Now that's kind of a nice pairing between the two there.
Nice.
Excellent. Can you insert a page without bumping? Can you insert a spread without bumping, without replacing? Do you know?
Put in a blank page.
Absolutely. If you go to the page thing, you can just do add page. Easy. Now, here's the thing. You got to add 2. You're in spreads, right? Here we can hide all this other junk over here so you can see it bigger. All right, so we're in spreads of 2. So you would want to hit add page. Because if you hit 1 page, it kind of throws all your layouts from that point on off.
Yeah.
So you want to add everything in 2-page spreads. So you would go page. And now you're just dragging and dropping and feeling love.
Hey, cool. People are starting to ask questions. That reminds me. So the way we do the giveaway at the very end of the Hangout, you have to be live watching because at the end Levi pulls names out of his hat, literally out of his hat. And the way we get the names are from people who have asked questions in the Q&A pod, part of this Google Plus Hangout thing. So you gotta first find that little Q&A button, click that, and then you can ask your question in that. There's the event page if you're watching it from there. You can put comments there, and we'll try and keep an eye on that. But we really pull from the Q&A. So if you have like a comment like, "Hey, that's awesome," put that on the event page. If you have a question like, "Hey, Scott, how do you do this?" Put that in the Q&A pod. And then at the very end, we call through there and give out our winner. So we'll have 3 people to give away prizes from the Q&A. So excellent.
Scott, do you have anything that makes you excited? Like what's a favorite trick? What's something that we maybe don't see apparently in the book module that you think is sweet?
All right, I got a sweet trick, and you're really going to use this if you're a wedding, like you're doing a wedding book, because they do great wedding books. But I do want to say thanks for pulling a fast from me there, Levi. Just do you have a really, yeah, I got one. No, I actually have a pretty cool trick. Because a question that I get asked a lot is, how do you back screen a photo? Like if you want to put a photo, very, very common in a wedding book to see like maybe the invitation back screened and then a photo on top of it or something like that. I'll show you the process for back screening a photo. So you just first pick a photo. Let me find something that you might want to back screen. Where was the invitation back here? All right, so let's say we wanted to back screen this photo here. What you would do, and I would make it full bleed too for that, so let's make it full bleed. So for this photo, if I want to make it back screened, the first thing that I would do is go to the develop module. Well, actually, you want to actually make a virtual copy first. So go create, right-click on that little image in the film strip, and do create virtual copy. So we're not working on the original, we're working on like the virtual copy.
Scott, why don't you share your screen so we can see it?
Sorry.
Oh, sorry. I'm like showing it to myself. I'm really good stuff. Sorry. I forgot about that old screen share button right there.
We're watching the reflection on your glasses, so it was all right.
And that's the way I intend most people to look. All right. Sorry. All right. So here we are in the book module, and I'm looking at this photo right here, which is the invitation and some rings. And so we're going to right-click and some random rings. So we're going to right-click on the thumbnail here down in the film strip, and we're going to choose Create Virtual Copy. So that way we're working on a copy. So we click that, and it puts another one there. So we don't have to worry about, we still have the original going to look the same. All you do is go to the Develop module now. All right. Then we're going to scroll down to the tone curve. All right. And to create the back screen, all you do is you grab the left corner of the tone curve and just drag straight up.
Oh, yeah. Awesome.
And it creates that back screen effect. So now you can put text over it or put another picture over it or whatever you would like to do. Or you can do this. Let's go back to the book module. You can now use that as a page background. So if you go to the background panel, you can drag and drop something to go in there. So let's get rid of this picture. We don't want that. All right. Let me find a decent picture. Hold on. I may have to call a different photographer. Let's go. We'll go with something kind of, well, those are all the make-ready shots here. Let's go, I don't know, we'll go with this one. Okay, and but we're going to make it smaller, so I'm just going to grab it and make it smaller. Okay, now, so we can drag up any picture we want to the background. I'm going to go back to that one we just back screened and just drag and drop it right there. So now it's back there, right? It's back there. Now you can also kind of back screen it here if you want, but you have a little opacity there. But that's a question I get asked a lot, is how do you back screen a photo? Now, I usually do that back screening trick for print. There is no way to do it in print. In the book module, you could throw it over there and just lower the opacity. Yeah. But in print, that dog don't hunt. There's nothing in there to do it. So I do it for, if you're going to do like an individual print or something. But luckily here, you could just lower the opacity a little bit. Cool. But anyway, that's one way. That's kind of a neat trick that you can mostly use.
Great tip. Boy, Levi really set you up good for that. Nice.
Yeah. So that's just how to back screen photos. What's interesting is what it doesn't have is a way to put a drop shadow in there. Now, in my book, I give you a workaround to go to Photoshop, create a drop shadow, make a transparent background, bring it as an identity plate, blah, blah, blah. But you know what kills me about this is, so now I get to gripe about Lightroom, because I love Lightroom, but look at the slideshow. Let's just click over here to the slideshow. What's this? Oh, it's a drop shadow. Look, drop shadow control. Now let's go someplace where we need it. Uh-oh, none.
Jared, are you watching? Jared, if you're watching, take notes.
Yeah, and I'm not on my Windows machine right now, but I think in Windows they still haven't put the drop shadow in the Windows version of Lightroom on the.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's been so long since I checked, so I should probably check before I say that. But for a while, anyway, prior to me checking, yeah, it's not on the Windows version. But anyway, I digress. Sorry. Awesome tip. So some questions have come in. So while you're still kind of got your screen up in case any are relevant. So actually, well, here's one that we were talking about before we went live. But can the book layouts be saved to use on my blog post as a photograph? From Don Brown. So I know you do this all the time, Scott. How do you you've done this layout in the book and you're sharing it online. How do you make that kind of switch without actually just printing the book?
You can do it two ways. You can save the page, just an individual page. You can export it to a PDF, but what I generally do is just make a screen capture. I literally just, like on a Mac, you would go Shift Command 4. It gives you a little cursor, and I would make a screen capture like that. Whatever's inside that square is now a screen capture. And
Sorry,
I
can
would
you do that one more time?
Yeah.
I had the screen on the wrong person for a second.
Oh, sorry. So on Mac, it's Shift Command 4, and your cursor is to this little target, and you just drag it around whatever you want, like that. So when I share these on my blog, that's what I do. I copy and paste. I make a screen capture. Then I would zoom over to Photoshop and copy and paste it in there. I think I have Photoshop here. Just copy and paste it in there. Hit paste. Oh, my paste isn't working. Believe it or not, my paste. This happens to me all the time. It's a Mac thing. It's not like a Photoshop thing. My copy and paste won't copy and paste. The only way for me to get it back is to restart my machine. But you would paste it in here, flatten it, and save it. So
nice.
How tech is that?
Cool. All right, Don. So that's one way to do it. I think that gives it a nice. It looks like it's in a book. So if you just set the book settings to JPEG and export out JPEGs, you don't get that same feel of it looking like a book. It's just individual JPEG. So
yeah, because you get that little, like in the middle, you get that page bend in there. Now, what you can do is, I've forgotten to do that sometimes, where I made the PDF. You just do a stroke in Photoshop right down the middle of the page, and then lower the opacity, and you get the same exact look.
There you go. Someone asked, what is full bleed? For anyone who doesn't know what
full bleed means that your photo goes all the way to the edge of the page. You see how this one has a white margin around it? Full bleed means it goes all the way to the edge of the page. It bleeds off the edge.
All right, Scott Barker, thanks for that question.
There's a couple of people who are asking, can we twist the picture? Does it have to be square on, or can we set it at an angle?
Rob is sending me pictures in the middle of the thing. I'm going to kill him. Hold on. Every time he sees an ugly photo on the internet, he feels he has to show it to me or something. I don't know if you know Rob Foley, but he needs to be killed. Anyway. He's a sports photographer buddy of mine, and he's just a nut. Okay, back to our story.
That's awesome.
Can you twist a picture, or does it have to be laid out square? Can you lay them at an angle?
No. Yeah. So here's what you would do. You'll have to go and rotate the photo before it comes in. Like you have to go and rotate it literally. Rotate the photo. Just rotate the image before you go to the module, and then you'd be sent that way. But yeah, it has to. There's nothing in here to let you rotate it. There's nothing that says, hey, rotate to the left or rotate to the right, or you would just rotate it.
The book module is it's just completely template driven, right? And so people should understand going into it that there's a lot you can adjust within the templates, but it's not like a full layout program where you have that much control over rotating cells and things like that.
Yeah, you rotate the photo first, import it, and then put it in the book module. It has to be imported before you go to the book. I mean, it has to be rotated before you go to the book module.
Yeah, and these templates are all kind of driven off of what Blurb can do too. So people should understand that too. So someone asked, John Wright asked, can you export a PDF file? So you can. That's one of the options under the book settings.
Right there.
The sizes are going to be based on the Blurb book, whatever book template you've picked. That's going to be your size, and you can save out that PDF. The one thing when you do the PDF, the cover is a separate PDF file for a reason I don't quite understand. But, you get the book as one PDF, and then the cover is a separate PDF. Maybe it's because the dimensions are different, but.
Well, and when you order, you often upload the cover specifically to some of the different ordering sites. And some people have asked, do we have to order from Blurb?
Yes. I mean,
yes and no, right?
Well, I don't know of any place that will print a PDF from here. Maybe there is. I'm not saying there isn't. I just have not encountered such a place.
Yeah, I believe there are. I've talked to people who printed it at outside sources.
I imported it and sent it to Bay Photo, and they print it for me. So you can choose your favorite vendor for books and just create your layout here, and then upload your spreads manually.
So Bay just gave you back a book,
right?
Based on that PDF. Nice. Exactly. And you got to choose paper and cover and all that kind of stuff. And it just matched the size.
Yeah. That is the one thing. You have to choose the sizes that Lightroom has, which are limited.
Yeah. So you have to first find a size. So you go with Bay Photo. You find a size that they have. Then you have to find the matching size, and then you export a PDF, and then you upload the PDF. Is that pretty much it?
Yeah.
Oh,
so everybody has the few sizes that Lightroom has, but they also have more, and so it limits your options from your vendor. But Lightroom is covered by just about everything.
Oh, I'm so glad to know that. That's something that I've just not found. So thank you, Levi. I always love when I learn something new. One other thing that people I know do is when they really want super custom in the layout, and they don't want to go with Blurb, you probably would do better with using just a custom package in the print module, saving out JPEG layouts, and then uploading that to wherever you're going to go with, instead of trying to make the book module do your thing. So, some people kind of work around that limitation.
The book module is actually pretty robust, though. I think you'd be surprised. I think most people would be that it does a lot more than you think.
Yeah.
I think really actually is pretty decent.
Well, what's great about the book module is that you can put any image that you have in your library in the book. You don't have to export to a certain file type and color space and resolution set. You just drag and drop them in, JPEGs, RAW files, TIFFs, PSDs, and then all the special sauce magic happens as part of the upload to Blurb. Any output sharpening, the conversion to the color space, all that stuff just happens no matter what file type you're bringing in there, and that's a huge time saver and advantage, I think. Plus, it's tied to a collection you have, so it's easy to find and redo. One thing, in Scott's book up on the upper left, it says wedding book, but if you start off new, it'll say create save book. So once you click that, you can name your book, and it makes a special collection that has all the settings that your book, your pages has baked into it.
I'm sitting here writing down everybody's names for the drawing.
Yeah, I just happened to see Scott is. This isn't my husband. Nice. So it's just the ease, right? So it's tied in with all your photos. It's tied to a collection. It's tied to a folder. I've been using it for when I go out. I like to have a book with me of my photos, so that if I'm shooting someplace, I do a lot of landscape, or sometimes I just find myself in people's property up here in rural New Hampshire, and I find that one time I walked into a church in Boston, and I wanted to do an HDR of the interior of this church, and it was a weekday. It was a beautiful place, And I had a book, a different book with me, and I just said, I'm working on, just my photography and, making some prints. It's just for educational purposes. Do you mind if I? And it just kind of felt like it gave me this kind of extra level of legitimacy that I was just doing something that was real and tangible, and so I try to always have a book of some sort in my bag that I've worked on, to just do a little show and tell, in that way. I was out sledding.
I got an awesome story. I have an awesome story. All right.
Show us your face so we don't get distracted from your story.
There we
go. Your blurbs.
All right. So I'm on a book publishing panel. And on the panel, this is in San Francisco, on the panel is a guy from Blurb. I never met him before. A very nice guy. He's like a Blurb evangelist. And so he's talking about a lot of things about books, like what's the most popular sizes and stuff. Because we're on this panel, but he and I started talking because I had questions about some of this stuff. I didn't know he was even going to be on the panel, so it was great. So he says the size that they have found that people like the most, that enjoy looking at the book the most, is 8 by 10. Mm-hmm. He says, as photographers, we want the big size. We want the big storybook, giant, But he says that's not what people really like to see. It's what we like to see as photographers, like see my work very large, but people actually enjoy the experience in an 8 by 10. But he said, here's the big tip, though. He said, Blurb makes a really small size. Now, I'm going to go look and tell you what that size is. I think it's 7 by 7. Is it the really small one?
Yes.
Softcover 7 by 7, right? Isn't that it?
So yeah, the small square. Yep.
Right. Okay, I just checked it out. All right. So you were right. So 7 by 7. Let me just pull my. There we go. So 7 by 7. Now, he said the 7 by 7 size is perfect for two things. One, just getting a proof. You want to kind of see, does the book look okay before I go buy a big hardcover wrap and all? Do I want to just see, like, make a copy and make it 7 by 7? But that's not it. Here's the big thing. He says the 7 by 7 fits in your camera bag, and you use it to open doors. He goes, you go to some place and they won't let you in or they won't let you shoot. You go, hey, I'm working on this book. Here, let me pull it out. It's Faces of Cuba, and open it up and you show them this book, and he goes, all of a sudden, you're legit. You're not just a guy on the street asking for something. You open this little book and you go, this is just a small proof, but this is what I'm working on, and the doors fly open. And so I did the same thing. I printed a little 7 by 7. You cannot believe how all of a sudden it's like handing them. Remember how MacGyver used to make business cards and people would do all kinds of stuff, right? It's kind of like, look, I'm legit. I'm not just some weirdo. Please give me access to the roof of your place. I'm working on this book, and they're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do you think that's better than even a digital portfolio? On your iPad, pulling out your iPad and saying, look at these beautiful, luscious pictures.
I think
Absolutely.
So.
I suspect.
Can I tell you something about that? So, Levi, I got a great story for you. Now, I was at a different publishing conference. I don't know why I go to so many publishing conferences. So I'm at this publishing conference about ebooks, and it was literally about ebooks. And so I warned the people that asked me to be the keynote speaker that I was going to talk about print books during their ebook publishing conference. And what I said was this: look, you should absolutely do an ebook, no doubt about it. But if you're going to go through the trouble doing an ebook, you need to have a print book, because a print book gives you a legitimacy that you can't get any other way. And so I brought up this cartoon and showed it on screen, and when you see that cartoon, it crystallizes, and you realize, like, oh my gosh. So the cartoon is, I'm going to be paraphrasing the cartoon because I don't have it in front of me, but scene 1 in the cartoon, it's a cartoon strip, walks up and says, what do you do for a living? And the other guy says, I make movies. And the person looking at them goes, ooh. And then he says, on the internet. And the person's like, oh. What that really, and so when you apply that to print, it's the same thing. Anybody can do an ebook. My kid can do an ebook. My 8-year-old daughter can do an ebook. She can publish it and put it online tomorrow. There's no one that vets it. There's no one that invests in you. A print book has a legitimacy that there's an investment. There's a financial investment there. A group of people decided you're real, and they vetted your process, and they invested in you. And a lot of people looked at it, and there was a lot of hand-wringing and wondering and time. And ebook, I could do an ebook. I could do an ebook this afternoon and have it up tonight. Anybody can do that.
Right.
But a print, anybody can put cool pictures on their iPad, and you're not even sure if they're really your pictures. You can go grab some pictures, put them on my iPad, and go, "This is me." Sure, it is. You hand somebody a printed book, and I would definitely put, and I did, my picture in the book as the author on the back cover.
Yeah.
It changes everything. I'm telling you, it changes everything. That physical, real thing that they hold in their... Showing them pictures on your iPad is never going to open the doors that 7x7 inexpensive book is going to be. Let's see, by the way, how much the estimate is on a 7x7 softcover book, because they actually give you a price estimate. It would be 7x7, and
this is right in the book module. You're looking at the topmost setting.
Yeah, $20, $20.41 is their estimate. Now that was with as many pages as I have in it. That was for me to print my whole book with the number of pages that I had in it. I'm not sharing my screen because I'm just looking it up.
You're fine.
So it would be a very boring screen share. But let me look and see how many pages are in my book, because I got quite a few here.
You know, Scott, I was at that conference, that publishing conference.
Okay, yeah. So you remember, right?
Right. Yeah, that was a really.
All right.
That was a good one.
I would send them like a 24-page book. This book is 42 pages, so you pay by the page. So I would say it's under $20 for that 7x7 book. Where are you going to get that kind of access, right, for less than $20?
I can't buy business cards that cheap.
So,
yeah. All right, let me look at some more questions here. I think we tackled the you only use Blurb for books.
And forgive us, folks, if we don't answer all of those questions. Many of them, if you're like me, you just glanced past the book module for ages. Get in there and dig around, and you'll answer most of your questions right here yourself.
Yeah, we'll try and get through. And so we're about a little over halfway through here. Just thanking our sponsors again: Adobe, Song Freedom, Drobo, onOne, and Scott for your book. Thank you. Prizes will be given away at the end. Next question: can you overlap images in the layout inside the book module?
Well, that's an interesting question, because it uses the book module uses a cell setup, and this is weird. This is another Lightroom inconsistency.
Yeah.
The print module does allow you to overlap books. You can have overlap images. You can have a page and overlapping images. But the way that the book module, I don't want to say it's impossible, because I want to look real quick, because I think there might be. Let me look under, what was it, 2-page spreads?
Well,
on the 2-page spread, there is an overlap. Look, but it's a preset. It's built by Adobe. Right, take a look right there.
Okay, you'll have to
can't
share
see my
your
screen
again. Yeah.
Look in his glasses reflection.
No, come on, just look. Just imagine. All right, so I went to one of the presets here, and look, there's the overlap.
Oh yeah.
But I can't choose to overlap. It's a preset, and that may be one of the few that are in here actually do overlap. I don't see any others in this. So I did think there was one, and there's that one. But let's go to multiple photos. Do I see any overlaps here? No. Let's go to 2 photos. No. I think that's the one and only case. Oh, wait, there's one. There's one. I just saw one. There it is. There's another overlap.
Okay.
So technically, yes, but you have to really like what Adobe did with it.
So we can't edit that overlap.
Your background trick would work too, right? I mean, that's somewhat limited, but putting one as the background.
Yeah, you have a picture in the background, and then you have something above it, which we saw. But I think when they said overlap, I think they were thinking one image overlapping another.
Yeah. Well, you can always do a custom layout in the print module, save that as a JPEG, and then import that into Lightroom and put that in your book.
Yeah, there's a workaround. That's a good workaround, actually.
All right, excellent. See if we do a lightning round here. When you upload your book to Blurb, can you make it so that anyone else could buy that book and print it? And I believe the answer is yes.
Yes, yes, you can. Yeah, Blurb does have an option to make your books for sale.
That's on the Blurb side, right? Once you
on the Blurb side, not on the Lightroom side.
All right. Format you can save the book.
You're gonna have to set up an account at Blurb, right?
Yeah.
So when you go to buy it, they're gonna, when you hit send book to Blurb, the very first time they go, well, enter your email address, give us a password, your credit card, all that kind of stuff. So then after that point, you actually have an account at Blurb.
Yeah. There was one I just saw that I had found something earlier. Someone had asked about getting samples, and Blurb actually has a page. If you go to blurb.com/swatch-kit, you can order this swatch kit that has their paper types. It's a little kit, comes with the different paper types so you can feel them and test the weight and all that kind of stuff. It costs like $8, and I believe that you get a promo code worth whatever that $8 is that you can apply towards your book. So if you want to get that swatch kit first, I could post that. I'll post that link on the event page for this Hangout so people want to check that out. So you can get a sample and test out the papers before you buy it. And I think Scott's tip on the 7x7 book, if you're going to start off, make a small book and get the swatch kit, make a small book with some samples of your photos and get a sense of what this is going to look like before you go for the gigantic book project and you spend all that money on it. So
right.
I actually have, I don't know if it's how well you'll see it, but Blurb had sent me a while back some book samples, and this is a softcover book. So that's what that softcover option looks like, the standard size.
Good.
It's getting a lot of reflection here. Here's the large with a dust jacket. Kind of comes off, so that's one of those options for the cover. Pretty cool.
That looks legit.
Yeah, and then this is just the plain hardcover. Nice spine, image wrap. Very cool. So definitely, worth experimenting with those. Another question: can you add effects or text, or do you recommend doing that in a program like Photoshop? Well, you definitely can add text to your book.
Yeah, you can add text to your book. You saw me do it earlier when I was, do always and forever thing. So yes, you can absolutely add text. The text controls, surprisingly, are pretty good. Yeah. You can do tracking, you can do leading, you can change the fonts. I mean, it's actually, if you want to go ahead and share my screen, I remember this time.
I think that they did some with Lightroom 5. It got better in that regard. That's one of the improvements.
Yeah, the type panel is actually pretty good. So if you do add some text, let me go find something where I can. I think I added text already up here. It's already there.
Sorry, Scott. What did you screen share?
My screen share didn't work. That's pretty lame. Hang on. Share. Desktop. Start screen share.
While you're doing that, Joe Desjardins asked, can you create just a text-based page for instruction along with an image? Yeah, you can have a page that's totally text too. So there's all kinds of combinations of text and image.
There are text pages, just big tons of text with a little photo, like if you wanted to do an author page, like maybe on the inside, or and then a picture and text. There's 4 different text-only pages.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
It's not dynamite, but it's okay. Hey, so as far as adding text, though, if you want to add some text, you can turn on, photo text or whatever, and then you can. If you look at the controls, you've got a lot of. Of course, you can choose the color, size, opacity, tracking. You can shift the baseline, so when you need to write the word H2O, you can actually do it.
Yeah, nice.
You have auto leading. You can control the leading, the kerning between individual letters. You can do columns of text. You have all the justification. It's actually a surprisingly, for Lightroom, surprisingly robust. They got this great type engine that they use sparingly. It's not in the print module. It's just over here.
Right.
Yeah, and if I recall correctly, if you populate your captions in the library module via the metadata panel, it'll pull that text, to go with that photo text. So You don't have to.
Right.
You don't have to
Who's
recreate
adding
the wheel there.
metadata to their wedding photos?
Okay, come on. I'm just in general.
Oh, no, I know. Technically, it's correct.
I'm sure someone has done it.
Hey, you know, if you're adding text to your metadata photos, we may have an entirely different issue to talk about.
All right, another question. Okay, got that one. Can you completely customize the cover? I don't.
Okay.
How do you define completely?
Well, so here's what you can do on the cover. The cover actually gives you. I'm going to make it a hard cover so we can see a little bit more here. Let's go. That's a soft cover. We're going to go with a hardcover dust jacket. All right. So you have this front cover image. So you get to decide. There are actually cover choices. How you want it to look. There's a bunch of different templates for your cover, so you can decide. You know, we won't do the dust jacket. We'll we'll do the image wrap. So you can decide different ones that you want. You want to do full bleed. Of course, it's kind of missing the one I really want, but which would be I would like one of these on the back and then a full bleed on the front, but that option doesn't exist. But so you can add text. You can add 2 lines of text here, right? So if this was going to be that would not be your cover image, right? But love. There we go. Maybe something more like, I'm not sure what you would use for a cover image, but I know it wouldn't be the one that was there. How about this one? Your hair smells terrific. That should be the title of this book. But you can add text here, right? So you can add, well, let me go to the text. You can add a line of text here, all right, and then a second line of text, all right? They appear right above each other. So we're going to make this Michelle. It's small. I'll make it bigger here in a second. All right, so Michelle and William, and we're going to then we can use the type controls. We will center that text. We'll make it larger so we can see it. We'll choose a typeface you might actually use in a wedding. Hey, you know what's a nice one? I bought this from from fonts.com. Parfumerie. Oh, beautiful. Then you just grab that little square and put it where you want it. So it's not. There we go. I would probably use upper and lower case there. It kind of looks funky. So then to add a second line of text, right? You would go back to over here, add page text. Click on the text first, and then we'll add. We'll go back to the text thing, and then you would put maybe the date of the wedding, right? You would center it and put, Saturday. I'll do it all in caps. Saturday, July. I have the weird. And choose a typeface that might be appropriate, which will always be Trojan Pro.
Just while Scott's doing this is kind of your last window to enter the drawing by asking questions in the Q&A. So get them on in there.
So now you've got that second line of text, and you can choose where you want it to go. So you have some customizing options. You have some templates to choose from. You can add a couple lines of text. I'll tell you a nice little way to. Let me throw a color picture in there so I can show you a trick while we're doing tricks.
Oh,
let's choose a photo cover. This is not it's not a bad one. It's not. So let's drop this one up there. Okay. So what color do you make the spine? Right. So you've got this spine color. So the way you determine. Oh, I lost all my text. My text isn't the right color here. Hold on. Let's bring it back real quick. And the second line. Select. Hold on. Don't you love to hear during a demo? You know what's going on.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to select the text sometimes.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, and I'm going to just move this there. Let's kind of come up there. Okay, now I want to do the spine color. So the trick, it's not the trick. This isn't the trick. The trick's coming second. Go down here and go to background. And then you're going to choose a background color. Choose a background color. And then when this pops up, you're going to choose, like whatever color. Do this. If you keep your cursor held down, you can steal a color from the photo, so you know it's going to match. It's going to work. Just keep your cursor held down, and you leave this dialog box, and just go here and say, all right, I want to choose the perfect color to match the front picture. Boom, you're done.
Nice. That's one of the coolest hidden things inside of Lightroom, right there.
Right, right. I know.
They did such a good job hiding
now
that.
you're fine. Yeah. So that's
Awesome.
a little. Now, outside of that, to answer the question, if you need to go beyond what I just showed you, because I just showed you pretty much what the extent of cover customization is, so you can choose one of the templates, or you can add text, you can do the spine. Outside of that, just go Photoshop straight up, create any cover that you want in the exact size of your book. Go look at your book setting size first and make sure that you're using, in this case, it's a 7x7 small square. Go back and make a 7x7 square document in Photoshop at 240 resolution. Design it any way you want it, save it as a JPEG, import it in, and drop it on that cover.
Nice. Hey, here's a real quick tip while you're in there. They actually made this handy. There's 3 keyboard shortcuts that are all kind of nicely grouped together. If you do Command or Control R, takes you right into just the 2 pages, and then so E, R, and T are the 3. So Command or Control E, R, and T. E takes you to the whole book. R takes you 1 level in, and then T takes you right down to the single page. So if you need to kind of jump back and forth.
The cover always shows you too. So that's why I was RT. It wasn't working. So there's E is the grid, R, and T. What's nice is they're right in line, right across the top of your keyboard. E, R, T. So you don't have to look around.
That's really cool. Really cool tip. Another couple quick questions we can get in. Let's see. Can you create your own layouts in InDesign? Yeah, heck, you can do anything you want in InDesign, but it's not going to work not going to help you in Lightroom. But yeah, that would be beyond a Lightroom thing. So
but you could import those as a not as a PDF, but as a JPEG.
I guess, but if you're going to do all in InDesign, you probably have better options for kind of going.
Just save it PDF out of InDesign and send it to the book publisher.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, because you're using all of the advantages of doing it in Lightroom.
Right.
Yeah. Which
Rob mentioned earlier. There's a lot of advantages to doing it here.
Yeah, it's just
for me, the main advantage is that I don't have to learn InDesign.
That's a good advantage. Yeah. John Ashton had mentioned that the covers might be a separate PDF because different paper and requires a thin spine. Right. So yeah, thanks, John. That's an excellent point. Obviously wasn't thinking that through. Is there any way to make a preset of any kind inside the book module? And kind of there's the templates.
There actually are.
Yeah.
So remember you saw earlier I had the layout that I did where I had the small square on one side and the large, that. So once you create a layout that you like and you have a thing you like, you can actually save it as a favorite. If you right-click, you can save it as a custom page. Those become your custom layouts, and so you can apply those anytime by choosing them from the pop-up menu, or you can actually use them in the auto layout. So you can have custom pages any way you like them within the confines of what Lightroom will let you do. But can I tell you, one of the things that will help you is if you want to create a custom page, start with a full page, full bleed, and then go to the, I drag it in a little bit to get me started so I can see where the guides are. Then I go to the page, the guides. One last time, go to the cell module. Go to the cell module and turn off link all. And then you can create, like if you wanted a pano, you make every image appear as a pano, put in your own dimensions, get it just like you like it, and then click Set Custom Page. But it works best if you start with the full bleed because it basically lets you do whatever you want. So start with the full bleed, drag it in a little, go over here to cell, uncheck link all, and then make the page you want to make, as long as it only has one photo.
So we're closing down. So Levi, is it too late to ask a question? Have you got all the names? Or
we could do one more.
All right. So this is it.
You've got
30 seconds.
37 seconds. Yeah.
And then Levi's hat is getting full of names.
And if you've already asked a question, don't ask another one.
Yeah.
I've already got you in. I've got you in. Well, so Scott, should we wrap that up then, Rob?
Yeah.
And while we wait for any final gems of questions, what's going on, Scott? Where can we catch your tour that's going on?
Well, tomorrow I'm in Raleigh, but it's sold out. So.
Oh well, so we can't.
I'm going next to Sacramento in March. I'm probably going someplace in February. I'm not sure where. You can go to kelby1live.com to find out where I'm at. Also, I do want to mention to your viewers, I actually have a class on creating creating photo books in Lightroom, and it's free. Just go to Kelby1, look up my name as the instructor, scroll, and then you'll go to creating photo books in Lightroom. Now, we have this button that lets you rent any class for days, for 48 hours, and it's like $7 or whatever. But if you look at the price on that particular class, it's 0.00. There is no rental rate. Just click yes and watch it, and it's free. And the whole thing's on I go through the entire process from start to finish, and I don't accidentally click on the page, then the guides, then the cell module. I actually do it really well.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Thank you for sharing that.
Just on the book mouse. And then you have a Lightroom show coming up that should be starting soon. Is that right?
I do. RC Concepcion and I we're taking over Lightroom Killer Tips here for the last few months. And Rob, you have done a guest blog on there, and I hope you'll do more. You rocked it, dude. You crushed it on there.
Absolutely.
Everybody loved what you did. They were just Rob. But anyway, we're starting this new show, and I've already asked Rob to be a guest on the show. But it's a short show, 15, 20 minutes once a week, and it's just be showing Lightroom tips and tricks. Basically, that's like I think each show, RC and I are both going to try to do a short, like here's a little quick, workaround or a shortcut, and then one big tutorial, and then we'll have the usual stuff. We'll take questions. We'll have prizes. It'll be fun. And so we're starting it. It was supposed to have started by this week, but we missed our taping date last Friday, so it's going to be a couple weeks late. But we like to do it, Yeah. We like to be in the ballpark of the date.
You only churned out 4 Lightroom classes last week, so
Jeez.
And then another one coming.
Well, I didn't record them all last week. I did record them in 1 week.
And then you've got kind of a big event this August that's happening in Las Vegas too.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh boy.
Yeah. You'll be there. Photoshop World Conference and Expo at Mandalay Bay Convention Center this August, and we have a Lightroom track that runs every single day. So even though it's called Photoshop World, you can go and never take a Photoshop class. You can do Lightroom every day, all day. We call it the Lightroom Conference at Photoshop World, and you can just dig in and feel the love.
Yeah, and then on the trade show floor, Adobe's got Lightroom stuff going on there. There's so much Lightroom stuff there. It's not even funny.
Lightroom's awesome.
It's huge. Yeah. So, Levi, you ready to start throwing names out?
I'm ready. Here we go. Let's raffle off first of all the Creative Cloud subscription from Adobe.
When Levi calls your name out, just jump in the Q&A and say I'm here, so that we know that you're here, because you have to be here to win it. If you're not, if we don't see it, then we give it to Scott. So, or we pick somebody else.
That's right.
We pick somebody else's name.
And so the Creative Cloud Photographer Bundle goes to Bill Cunningham.
Bill, haul out. Let's see the game show run to the Q&A pod.
That's right. So Bill Cunningham, weigh in and tell us you're here. And Rob, if you'll keep an eye on that for me.
I am keeping an eye.
And then let's do let's do Scott's book. Scott's going to send you an autographed copy of the Lightroom 5 book.
For digital photographers.
That's it. That was my text when I taught at the community college. I used that for my text for my students. Well, it was
Thank
Lightroom 2, 3, and
awesome.
4. You bet. Yeah, 2, 3, and 4. We couldn't keep them on the shelf in Logan, Utah at the time. That book is going to
Logan, Utah. That's kind of my power base.
That's right. It's
Utah is crazy full of photographers. I can't believe how many photographers are in Utah. I mean, it's a beautiful state, so there's that, but they're everywhere.
Yeah, and one of my buddies that's on the tour with us, Nick from Smug Mug, just told us their breakfast yesterday. He's moving to Utah.
Oh, he is. Excellent. That's because
Nick's
he
cool.
wants to shred longer each year. There's not much.
He does. He wants to snowboard. He's a serious snowboarder. He's also a photographer and a love machine, so that's good.
And that book is going to David Foster.
David Foster. All right.
Yes.
Excellent.
And then we've got 2 onOne subscriptions
Oh, two.
And
Nice.
those are going to number 30.
I'm not seeing those guys. Come on, Bill. What was Bill and David?
Yeah, Bill Cunningham and David Foster.
Bill
And
and
Jim
David.
Barnes gets onOne number 1.
Jim Barnes, jump in the Q&A. Oh, there's Bill. Good, Bill's here.
Double
Congratulations,
check
Bill.
the event page for me too.
Okay, Bill.
Bill so Bill Cunningham, David Foster, Jim Barnes, and lastly, for our last onOne subscription, and we just want to thank again all our sponsors, onOne, Drobo, incredible tools, and Song Freedom. Man, great music makes your slideshows better. I wish we could stick music in our book. Have you figured that out, Scott? Can we stick music in?
That I have not. No. But when you're looking at it, you can sing. It makes you sing.
That's right. It makes you sing.
Inappropriate song with a lot of rap cuss words.
That's good.
That's what happens.
And,
Make the rules.
Scott, I really appreciate you tuning in with us today from the lovely Hotel Business Center. It's awesome.
Yep. Here we are at let's give you the full tour of the Hilton Garden Inn. Here we go.
Did you kick everyone else out?
Well, there's nobody in here. Nobody ever actually uses these things. That's why I can't hear you. You ever see anybody in the business center? Come on. Wait, we'll get to the Purell here in a minute.
Right.
Oh, come on. It's like right here. Wait, there it is. Let's get some.
All right, we got Jim Barnes chimed in. So we've heard from Bill and Jim.
Excellent. And our last winner,
Clean
also sponsored by Adobe,
Nice.
Clean Hands Kelby, is Judy Foster, or Judy. What's Judy's last name again? Judy Murphy.
Judy Murphy.
She's a fine name.
Scott, we won't make you stay and wait for these people to win. I know you've got probably 10 million things waiting to do. Please say hello to Brad's Beard for me.
Right down the street, Harvey's Guitar Store. One of my moderators just let me know. Dave Gales just sent me a text and said, "You got to go to Harvey's Guitar Store. It's 2 blocks from the hotel." So I do have to go. Outside the Purell.
Excellent.
Tell Dave I said hi. Give Brad's Beard a hello as well.
I will.
Thank you so much.
Bye. Thanks, man. Thank you guys for having me. Really enjoyed it.
Thanks, Scott. Take care.
Cheers.
Bye-bye. All right, so thanks to Scott. So we've heard from Jim. We've heard from Bill. I think it's time to pull two more names because...
we're going to draw again for David Foster's...
Sorry, David.
David, if
Judy. Come on, Judy.
You need to yell a little
Judy.
more.
There's
Judy. Okay, Judy's in. Judy gets the other onOne.
All right, so David, this is your last chance. Judy just gave you a few extra seconds.
That's right.
Pull that name. Come on, David.
Don't make us lose you, David. Where's my Bob Barker number? My Bob Barker voice. This is your last chance on The Price is Right, David. Is it David? We're waiting for David.
I thought it was David.
Give the wheel a spin one more time. All right, David. I'm drawing again.
Pull it.
3, 2, random number generator, go. 8. Who's number 8? Number 8 is Shireen Dallas. Thanks, Shireen. She was on early, too, so that's great.
Shireen, you're here. Come back, Shireen.
Is she still on?
Thanks for everyone else that's hanging in there, because you might still win if Shireen doesn't come through. Come on, Shireen.
This is for Scott's book. It's signed.
Come on.
Davis.
Pull it. Get another name ready.
All right.
We're in the lightning round now.
Getting it ready.
Do it.
Triple overtime.
Do it.
Number 37. My paper only goes to 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 32.
You're welcome, Scott. Thanks for hanging in there with us. That was Scott Barker.
Okay.
Just asked a question. And for everyone, we didn't get to all the questions. I'll see if we can't try and answer some in the event page. But we tried. I think we hit the high notes anyway.
All right.
Give it. Go.
Shireen Dallas, you lost it. Sorry. Ken Tannenbaum. Are you in the house? Ken Tannenbaum.
Come on, Ken. Come on, Ken. Or someone logged in under Ken's name.
You're the next contestant for Scott Kelby's Lightroom 5 book signed by Mr. Kelby himself. Are you here, Ken Tannenbaum?
Come on, Ken.
You guys can do it. You can do it, guys. Somebody just made it. Did somebody just weigh in? Where are they?
Scott Barker just said, "I want that book."
Stop commenting. You're throwing us off.
All right, get another name ready. Lightning round.
All right, getting it ready.
Audience is dwindling down.
Number
We should have a raise your hand function on this. That would be cool.
Yeah, that'd be
Raise your
nice.
hand if you're still here.
We could use the Adobe one. What's that thing called? All right, Ken Tannenbaum, you snooze, you lose. Barry Stiles, are you in the house? This is for Scott Kelby's
Barry?
book.
Is it
Barry
Perry?
Stiles. Barry with a B.
Oh, Barry.
Yes.
Barry, not Barry?
Barry with a B, beta. Beta Barry Stiles.
All right.
And I'm getting the next one ready.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Watch, it's because we have slow connections or something, and everybody's weighing in. And
I hope it's Scott Barker, because I know he's here.
That's right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sorry, Scott. It's James Kohler. James Kohler, are you here?
James Kohler, are you here?
James Kohler.
Please be here. We want to end. I have this book already, or else I would take it.
I know. I've got 2 or 3 successive.
I don't think it's autographed though. Oh, my hand is raised. So Vaughn is still here. Oh, Barry's here.
Barry's here. All right, Barry.
Thank you, Barry. I love you, Barry.
All right. Sorry, James Kohler. You snoozed.
Sorry, Vaughn. I appreciate you.
Defaulted back to Barry. All right. Excellent. So all the winners, you need to email me, Levi, at photofocus.com, and I will get those out to you. It sometimes takes a little while for the companies to respond, but especially because Rich Harrington is in the Philippines teaching right now, and so the Adobe one might be a little slow, Bill. I'm sorry about that, but it'll get to you. I can assure you of that. So thank you all for joining us.
Yeah, thanks everyone.
For your questions. Dive in and give that book a try. Rob, where can we catch you?
Lightroomers.com is probably the place where all my things reach out to, because everything I put on Photo Focus, I echo over there as well. Excellent. But if you go to photofocus.com, you don't have just me, but you have Levi and Nicole and Brian and Vanelli and Nick and Rich and Melissa and Zach, and I'm probably missing a few other people, but there's so much good content over there right now. So
excellent. Are you going to any conferences this spring?
Not sure. Might be something small in March, but I don't think I've got anything trip-wise until May or so.
Okay.
But
excellent.
There you go. What about you? Where can we find you?
I am on Photo Focus, and I'm on Instagram. I'm enjoying Instagram quite a lot. So at Photo Levi on Instagram and Twitter, and I will be at WPPI. I'd love to see you there. I'd love to make a portrait of you. I'll be doing the Steve Jobs portrait.
Oh, cool.
At a couple of spots, and I'll be teaching at the Out of Chicago conference in June, which is a really cool one.
I love Chicago.
It's a great spot.
Just go to Chicago. It's a great city to go to.
Yeah. And this is the shootingest conference I've ever been to. You get your hands dirty making pictures.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for still here. Appreciate you hanging in there. Sorry you didn't win, but we'll be back next month with more prizes and another special guest and a topic that we haven't picked yet. So we'll get that posted as soon as we know.
Thanks, Rob. We'll see you soon.
All right. Take care, Levi.
Bye.